Someone who served at the highest level of U.S. foreign policy is Leon Panetta. He was both head of the CIA and Secretary of Defence in the Obama administration and was at the heart of the Clinton administration as Chief of Staff. He joins us now from Monterey in California. Welcome on the programme, Secretary Panetta. If I could ask, first of all, what you think of the killing of Mr. Adnani. Does that make a big difference in America's, or indeed the West's, war against ISIS?
Well, if it is confirmed that he was killed in the strike, then I think it is a blow to the leadership of ISIS. And even though they'll make an effort to replace him, I think one of the things we've learned from going after the leadership of al-Qaeda was that as you decimate their leadership, it makes it much more difficult for them to be able to continue to plan attacks. And I think that that's the hope here.
Do you think that America is now winning the war against ISIS?
Well, I think we're making progress. I don't know about whether or not we're winning yet, but we clearly are making progress in the effort to go after ISIS. We've deployed special forces there. We continue to conduct airstrikes. It is apparent that ISIS is beginning to move away from some of the territories that they were able to conquer. And so we are making progress, but it is very slow progress.
Now, let's talk about Syria for a minute. The Russians are heavily invested in Syria, on the ground to some extent, in the air to a very large extent. Do you regret that the Russians seem to be filling a void left by the United States?
I think what you're seeing is just another part of the chaos that is Syria. Syria is a chaotic situation right now that involves not only the United States going after ISIS, but obviously the effort to try to get Assad to step down. The Russians are trying to protect Assad. The Turks are moving in against the Kurds. We have Hezbollah present. We have Iran present. It is a chaotic situation. And the fact is that as a result of all of these different forces that are at play, we still are not seeing any hope about eventually bringing that war to any kind of successful conclusion.
But would the situation be any less chaotic if your former boss, President Obama, had respected his own red line about chemical weapons, which he then ignored once they had been used?
Well, look, there's no question that mistakes have been made in the conduct of this war. I think it would have been better for the president, once he established a red line, to have enforced it. But he continues now in the effort to go after ISIS. We have put a number of steps in place. We are making some progress in that effort. And I think the key right now is to try to see if we can bring some kind of coalition together so that we are all working towards the same aims as opposed to opposite aims. We need to defeat ISIS, but we also need Assad to step down. Those are the two goals in Syria.
Okay, you have said in the past quite clearly that if President Trump were to become a reality, if Donald Trump is elected, that he would be a security threat to the United States and the world. Do you really believe that?
What I worry about with Donald Trump is that he clearly does not have the temperament or the judgment or the experience to be a commander-in-chief. The things he said about, undermining our alliances, spreading nuclear weapons, speaking highly about dictators in the world, promoting torture, all of those things represent the very opposite of what the United States stands for. So I worry about his ability to truly be able to provide leadership in the Oval Office.
But if he does actually get into that Oval Office and you don't trust him as the commander-in-chief, what will the security establishment do? What will the Secretary of Defense do? What will the generals do, especially if he threatens to use nuclear weapons, as he has theoretically done?
Well, that's a question I often get, but our forefathers provided a constitution that provides some real checks and balances in the process. They didn't want to centralize power in any one branch of government, including the presidency. So anything that Donald Trump might try to do as president could very well be checked, if not by the Congress, by the courts, and ultimately by the American people.
Very briefly, in one line, Secretary Panetta, would a President Trump be a bigger threat to American security than ISIS?
You know, that's not a choice that I think anybody wants to make, because, frankly, both represent a threat to our security in the future. Donald Trump would, as 50 Republican national security individuals said, would be a disaster in terms of being commander-in-chief. But we also face the threat from ISIS. I think we're strong enough in America to make the right decision here, defeat Trump, and proceed in the war against ISIS. I'm confident we'll do that.